Ladies and gentlemen, this is a film of which I didn't even think I would even watch, let alone talk about. But today we're going to do it anyway, and that is Rupert Sanders' remake of The Crow. Yeah, it's a remake of The Crow starring Brandon Lee, which was a film in the 90s, very much known because of his tragedy which happened on the set, which involves Brandon Lee getting shot with a prop bullet, and it ended up being a real bullet. It was a whole thing, and they decided, you know what, we're going to hold off on a remake. Originally, they were going to make one with Jason Momoa, or Jason Barbosa, whatever you want to call him, and I'm glad that one fell through. But they somehow made the idea worse by putting Bill Skarsgård as Eric Draven, and FKA Twigs as the love interest. Yeah, this film's a stinker, guys. I'm just gonna come out clean and say it's an absolute stinker. Not a single redeeming factor about it, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about why I think that's the case. And I don't tend to like to talk about negative films on this channel. I kind of stray away from that at this point, but yeah, this one, oh my god, it's such a doozy. First off, the reason why I wanted to watch this. The reason why is, one, I have this channel for you wonderful peeps on the internet, and I thought you'd like to hear my thoughts on it. And secondly, FKA Twigs. I've been following FKA Twigs for a long time. I've got her records. All of them are over on the shelf there. So I wanted to see what she can do with a bigger role. She was in Honey Boy starring her ex-abuser, I guess, and she was pretty good in that, but she didn't have a good role. She didn't have a big role, more like. But this one, she's practically the second co-lead. And yeah, it's unfortunate that she was given such a terrible goddamn script. Because Jesus Christ, her character does nothing but fuck Bill Skarsgård and die. And that's not a spoiler, by the way, because that's the story of The Crow. The story of The Crow is basically Eric Draven and his girlfriend. His girlfriend dies, and he tries to avenge her. And then he becomes this crow, and it goes on a whole fucking rampage. B-Tech John Wick, basically. It's B-Tech John Wick. And it's like, I couldn't give any less of a shit. Like, I didn't care about anything that happened in this movie. Like, any of the stakes were lost in the edit. The edit being so choppy and so mismatched that it's so hard to understand the cohesion that is supposed to be in a film like this. Because usually it kind of sets itself up with the edit. Because, for instance, John Wick, in the first one, dog dies, he goes hunting people. The rest of the film is literally just him hunting the people, right? But this does something I've never seen before, where it does that, but somehow doesn't. And it's so strange, because it starts off where it ends where it starts, and goes 100 loops and 100 loops. It feels like Sonic Green Hills. He's running around in a loop, and I can't understand where the fuck he is and what he's doing. Such a mess. And that's the biggest problem with this film, is that the edit lets itself down, because one, the story's not interesting enough to even carry the edit, and two, the edit itself, oh my god. I feel like a lot of people talk about editing on their channels, but don't really understand rhythm as much as they kind of need to, or kind of have to kind of get their point across. And that's not a dig at anybody, that's just me spectating, right, and looking from an outside inwards. But edit to me is what's important to making a film as structurally sound as it is, right? Because if the edit starts off in a place of where the film doesn't carry itself, then you're fucked for the rest of it. Challengers being one of the best edits of the year, and this one being one of the worst. The reason I bring up Challengers is because that edit really carries itself, because the characters are interesting, the flow and the energy of the film sets a tone straight away. The tone of this one is so inconsistent and so goddamn choppy that I can't understand why the edit is the way it is. That's the problem. That's not the problem, but it's one of the problems, if that if that makes sense to you. It's like it goes from one extreme to the other. It wants to be sad and sappy, and it wants to be emo boy, and it wants to have like fucking Evanescence playing on the background, and then it wants to be like a John Wick action drama with Travis Scott playing. Like, pick one goddamn tone. For Christ's sake, pick one tone. And when it comes to the action itself, which the film is building up to, it's building up to this like 3-minute action scene, an action scene which I was kind of over by the time it showed up. Like, the action was ass. It feels like baby's first action scene. You know, you show your kid, say John Wick or say an Avengers movie, and they're like, oh, that's cool, I want to see more. And then you show them this, and you're like, oh, never mind. Clean it out of my memory. It's so lazy. It's so lazy. It kind of has that Ghost in the Shell look, which Rupert Sanders had with, well, Ghost in the Shell. But it doesn't do anything with it, and it kind of ends up being a parody of itself after a while. So yeah, The Crow. I hate it. I think it's a stinker. I'm never gonna watch it again because why would I? Honestly. Even FK Twigs couldn't save it. She has this one scene where she starts singing by a piano. That was nice, I guess. That's the only positive I can give this. Guys, I'm really struggling here. I'm really struggling to find something. Because I don't want to come on here just completely shitting on someone's work and being like, whatever. But when the work is as bad as this, where it's as bad as Borderlands, Lionsgate are having a terrible week, by the way. Fucking Borderlands came out. Debuted with what, a 0%, and now this one came out, which is also Lionsgate and has like 6%. Both are box office flops already. It's like Lionsgate have one more shot. You've got one more chance, Lionsgate. One more. I'm gonna give The Crow a 2 out of 10. I really didn't know what to say about it. I just wanted to come on and rant about how pathetic this was and how much of a waste of time it is. An hour and 40-minute edit that feels like 2 hours. It's really bad. It's one of the worst edited movies I've ever seen. It's up there with Madam Web, which I do want to make a video on Madam Web, but yeah. The Crow, I guess. Definitely go see The Crow and form your own opinion. This is my opinion, and your opinion might differ than mine, but that's what's fun! And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me down below if you've seen the movie already. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!